Hello everybody, this is Tucker Miller here again, and tonight, like I said, for my next movie review, I'm gonna be reviewing on Alice in Wonderland. Came out in 1951. So anyways, let's get to the plot. Now basically the plot of this movie is we got this girl named Alice, who was voiced by Catherine Beaumont, and Alice dreams of a world of her own, and then meanwhile she came across this white rabbit who was very white, and so Alice decided to go follow the white rabbit, and then she falls into this hole where she ends up in this place called Wonderland. So yeah, Alice wants to go after the white rabbit and then also find her way out of Wonderland, and yeah. And so yeah, it is up to Alice to find the white rabbit and find her way out of Wonderland, and that's basically what the plot is. Now, what can I say about Alice in Wonderland? I think Alice in Wonderland is a great Disney classic from 1951. So, yeah, Alice in Wonderland is a great classic from 1951. I wouldn't consider this to be a favorite. I wouldn't consider this film to be a favorite in my opinion, but I still really enjoyed Alice in Wonderland. I still really enjoyed this film. I really like this film. So, yeah. Yeah, Alice in Wonderland. The story is great. The animation is great. Great, and the songs are great too. So, yeah. And this movie is based on, and not to mention, this movie is also based on of a book. So, yeah, I really enjoyed Alice in Wonderland. Although, I'll say this. Although Walt Disney himself wasn't really impressed with it, Walt Disney himself wasn't really impressed with this film, but when it first came out in 1951, but it is still a great classic. I really enjoyed Alice in Wonderland. So yeah. So anyways, now let's talk about the characters. Alice, she's a lovely character. She's a very kind character. And I'll have to say, Catherine Beaumont did a great job voicing Alice. So yeah, Alice, she's a kind character. And then also also the Mad Hatter, who's this character. The Mad Hatter, he is a great character. I love the Mad Hatter. And the March Hare, who's this character. The March Hare, he's a great character too. And the Cheshire Cat, or the Cheshire Cat, whatever you want to call him, who's this character. Yeah, the Cheshire Cat, he is a great character. And I'd say, the Cheshire Cat has the same voice as Winnie the Pooh. The actor who voiced the Cheshire Cat would later voice Winnie the Pooh, and he would also voice some other Disney characters, which we'll get to to another video. So yeah, and also for the March Hare, one thing I forgot to point out: the March Hare has the same voice actor the Mad Hatter, not the March Hare, the Mad Hatter. the Mad Hatter, who is, of course, this character, he has the same voice act. Has his voice actor with Waiter voice with Waiter played Uncle Albert from the 1964 Disney live action film Mary Poppins. And yeah, figure I point that out too. And yeah, and Catherine Beaumont would later, 2 years later, will voice another Disney character from another Disney film, which we'll get to that later. We'll get to that in another video. So yeah. So anyways, and also the White Rabbit. The White Rabbit, he is a great character. And also another character I can talk about is two characters. The Caterpillar. I forgot what his name is. Is the Caterpillar? I think he's a great character. And Tweedledum and Tweedledee. They're great characters. And of course, we cannot forget the Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts, she is a great villain. The Queen of Hearts is a great Disney villain. So, yeah. Queen of Hearts, she's a great villain. And Villain Vidor, I think that's her name, Villain Vidor. I'll have to watch my Cinderella review, but she's the Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts is the same voice actress she's the same actress who voiced the Fairy Godmother. So yeah. Yeah. Queen of Hearts' voice actress is the same actress who voiced. Yeah, the Queen of Hearts voice actress is the same actress who voiced the Fairy Godmother in Cinderella, which Cinderella was my last review. So, yep. And she also voiced Mrs. Jumbo from Dumbo. So, yeah. And then she voiced a few other characters, which we'll get to soon. So, yep. So, anyways. And I have to say she did a great job voicing the Queen of Hearts. So, yeah. So, yeah. Those are the characters I can think of on top of my head. All the characters are great. Now, let's talk about the songs. This movie has a lot of songs. This movie has quite a bit of songs. The main title song, Alice in Wonderland, that was a great song. No, the main title song. And also, In the World of My Own, that's another great song, and so is the I'm Wait song. You know, of course, sung by the White Rabbit. Yeah. I'm Wait is a great song, and so is the How You Do We Shake Hands song sung by Tweedledum and Tweedledee. And another song I could talk about is, what's another song I could talk about? Golden Afternoon. Golden Afternoon is a great song, and so is and of course the Unbirthday song. The Unbirthday song, that was a great song. And also I have a memory with that song. On my 16th birthday, my former high school teacher, my high school teacher, he knows I love Disney movies. And when it was my 16th birthday, he played the Unbirthday song like he showed a clip from the movie, and yeah, since it was my birthday, he played it. I remember that. That was back on my 16th birthday back in 2020. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I do remember that. My middle school, that he played the on birthday song. So, yeah. Yep, I remember that. And also, very good advice. Very good advice was kind of a sad song, but was kind of a sad song. The song Very Good Advice, sung by, of course, Alice. That was a sad song, and Painting the Walls is Red, sung by the Pine Cards. Cards. That was a pretty good song, and yeah, those are the songs I can think of on top of my head, and yeah. Everything about this movie is great, and another things I can talk about this movie is, yeah, Alice in Wonderland, it is a great classic, but however, there was one person I know who does not like this movie, and that is my grandma. Yeah, my grandma does not like Alice in Wonderland. Because what she told me, she said this movie was too creepy. But so yeah. My grandma does not like Alice in Wonderland. Like, apparently my grandma's a huge has my grandma loves Disney movies, but with the exception of this movie and Fantasia. Yeah. Yeah, she didn't like what I think I said this in my Fantasia review. She said Fantasia didn't feel like a movie. And but as for this film, she said she considered this film to be too creepy. Yeah, she said Alice in Wonderland was creepy. So honestly, I didn't find this movie to be creepy. Yeah, honestly, in my opinion, I didn't find Alice in Wonderland to be creepy. So yeah. Yeah, those are the Fantasia and Alice in Wonderland are like the only two Disney films that my grandma doesn't like. I'm sure there was some other ones that she doesn't like, but if you can think of any Disney classic, this and Fantasia, she didn't like those films. So yeah. So yeah, I figure I mentioned that. So yep. And also, yeah, and another thing, this is not only my grandma doesn't like this version of Alice in Wonderland, she does not like the book or any of the other film adaptations. Not even the live action remake with Johnny Depp. Speaking of that, let's talk about the remake. So anyways, the live action remake that came out in 2010, it was actually a pretty good remake. You know, the live action remakes starring Johnny Depp playing the Manhattan. That was a pretty good remake, actually. Haven't watched that remake in a while. I should watch it again. And however, but I think the original Alice in Wonderland is better. But I do like the Tim Burton live action remake with Johnny Depp in it that came out in 2010. That was a pretty good remake. So, yeah. I really enjoyed the live action remake to Alice in Wonderland, but definitely not as good as this. And before you ask, no, I still haven't. And no, I still haven't seen the live action Snow White yet. I'm actually gonna wait until it comes out on Disney Plus because, boy, I heard that remake, the Snow White remake, is doing very bad. I'll have to watch it and see what I think of it. I heard the remake to Snow White is different. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it and see if it's really bad or not. So, yeah. But anyways, we're not talking about Snow White, we're talking about Alice. So anyways, yeah. The live action remake to Alice in Wonderland was pretty good too. But not as good as this. So, yeah. So, yeah, and also, when I went to Disney World back in July of 2019 at the Magic Kingdom, I actually went on the teacups. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I got to go on the teacups. You know, the spinning ride. Like, you spin, yeah. Like one of those dizzy rides. Those rides that will make you dizzy. I don't think I got dizzy on that ride. But, yeah, those are the kind of rides I'm talking about. I'm sure you know about the teacups at Walt Disney World or Disneyland. So, yeah. Or any of the Disney parks. So, yeah. Yeah, pretty cool that I went on the teacups. So, yep. So anyways, honestly, that's all I can say about Alice in Wonderland. So anyways, I'm gonna give Alice in Wonderland a 10 out of 10. I cannot think of any flaw with it. Again, wouldn't consider this a favorite, but it is still a great classic from 1951. So, yeah. So anyways, that is it for my movie review on Alice in Wonderland. And stay tuned for my next movie review, which will be on Peter Pan. But until then, see you in the next video. Bye.